Genelia, thanks so much for joining us. It's great to have this chance to interact with you, and also in your new avatar as you become entrepreneur and venture into a whole new space. You've been so passionate and so involved with the launch of Indian Meats. Tell us a little bit about, firstly, what made you decide to get into this particular space? Do you see food tech as an exciting opportunity? Is it a space that excites you personally?
Food tech for me was very new. It wasn't like while growing up, or even once I made the shift from like a career option. It wasn't even a career option before. But when I gave up non-vegetarian food around now, it's almost 6 years ago. But when I did give it up, I was a happy veg, and in that process, I started learning about vegetarian food, which we don't really, as non-vegetarians, the only thing we think that vegetarians eat is paneer and potatoes. And that's
being a vegetarian, I know that. Yeah.
Literally what we think, as non-vegetarian or ghaspoos. I've been one of those. But what do you eat? Today I realized that what do non-vegetarians eat? You only versus the flavor, but it's just not done in that whole zone, and all of that. So when we got into food tech, the whole thing was, I was a happy vegetarian, and Riteish was someone who craved his meat, but he was clear he wasn't going to be non-vegetarian again. Yeah. And I wanted him to be a happy vegetarian, because I was like, you can't be like, I do this because I made this decision and not enjoy it. That's not life. So we did go to the GFI conference. Over there, we learned that there was another world that existed with meat, mutton, with chicken, with pork, and all of it made from plants, literally from plants. Now, when you talk about meat, the reason why we like it so much is because it's addictive and because of the texture to a large extent. But if you're getting the same thing from your plants, then you don't need to do it at all. And on the process, I also went a bit... I've always been someone who's loved animals, and I've always been guilty at some point that I ate non-vegetarian food, because I was like, what's the difference if I love my dog and if I'm happy to eat a chicken? It just didn't.
Yeah.
So I went into when you have children, I think you just realize that it's so unfair, the stands that you take sometimes. And that was the trip that I was going on. Of course, it was a journey. It's not something that, ASAP. While I went veg, I still ate eggs. Then one by one, I dropped eggs. I dropped dairy, because I realized it's as bad. And more so, it's as bad for the environment, because I want to have a good place. I feel every mom feels that, okay, our time is done, but our kids need to have the best. And in that process, we are harming our own place that they need to live in, our own world that they need to live in, So we literally went into statistics, and I started understanding food from a very minute way. I understood, I was someone who understood antibiotic resistance, right? I understood antibiotic resistance, but then I was like, we're feeding the chicken, we're feeding the egg with antibiotics. How are we not going to be antibiotic resistant? How is that? I mean, the reason why India is so antibiotic resistant, because we keep pumping in antibiotics. There's nothing like it. So I realized eventually this is all related to your food. This is all that, stems from the fact.
And do you see people catching on or understanding the nutritional value? Because we've seen some very... prolific celebrities come out and endorse this trend. But are you seeing people actually, on ground, actually understand the nutritional value and adapt to it, or are they still apprehensive?
So I think it will take time. And I think it will take time because of ease. The moment it becomes easy, it will be something that everyone, in fact, I feel as our generation, we're not as sensitive as the generation that's like my kids. My kids will tell me, if I take tissue, they will tell me, you have cut a tree. I don't think I ever mentioned this to my parents. So I feel it will take time because it's a new market. It's not freely available. It's very expensive. It's literally a hole in your pocket when you're trying to, get to a point where, for whatever reason, some are for health, some are for animals, some are for just environment, but for whatever reasons, you find it difficult eventually. I think it becomes as easy as how you get meat. It will be a drastic change because I personally feel that nobody wants to cut an animal. Nobody wants. It's just that you don't relate to it. And like this saying goes, if all slaughterhouses had glasses, then the world would be a different place.
True. So what's the kind of potential? Let me ask you as an entrepreneur, in terms of the kind of business potential you see in this. There are a whole spate of startups that are now kind of coming into the space. So while it's still relatively nascent, it's already becoming a little crowded. What's the opportunity you see here?
So I hope, and this is, I do see a lot of scope in terms of, the product, because what I do feel is, because there's no options, like I said, people are not venturing to try it out. I think we are all out there to help this be a market of its own, like, literally develop this as a market, because it's still, like you said, a nascent market. And from the people that we've interacted, there is interest in everyone. Like, even a hardcore meat selling firm would like to have this as a choice. And my whole philosophy is, even if you are a flexitarian, no, you don't need to give up it totally. But even if you start by being a flexitarian, which is probably just not have it on 2 days or 3 days, which is India primarily, the whole, while one is a non-vegetarian on 7 days, that one day they'll give it up for fast, for, a ritual.
Yeah.
And on that day, if you can have something other than, what you generally have, or where you don't have to step out to eat your meat, you can eat it with your mom, because it's as rajma or as soya bean as what she is eating. I feel if that trend is well served, given to the market, and with the right price points, with the right delivery point, I think it's a market that is waiting to be explored.
Amazing. So when is the launch slated? And in your particular category, I know you have a slate of products, about 14 odd products that you're going to kick off with. Anything that you'd like to tell our viewers about Indian meats, the USP, or what they should kind of watch out for when you hit the stands?
No, so I'm just thrilled that we've reached a place where we have 3 different distinct flavor biryanis. We have 3, 2 butter chicken, and we have chicken tikka, we have our keemas, we have sheikh kebabs. So I just feel like, whether you're a vegetarian or whether you're a non-vegetarian who wants to make that shift, you're never going to miss that meat, because you have enough on your platter. And I feel it's just like, while you pick up this, you're also going to be doing a lot to help out in the world on the whole, whether it's animal cruelty, whether it's purely helping a farmer grow more of this, or whether it's purely using Indianness to your products instead of, depending on it from other people. Your hygiene, in COVID times, your hygiene. I know a zillion people who have found it really difficult cooking every single day of their life while they're working. I mean, here's an option for you that is faster. And, somewhere we've also got acclimatized to this whole life of having to do things by ourselves. Like, the world has, we realize that you can do so much from home. So you also get your food, which is safe and packed and easy and fast. So yeah, I look forward to a lot of consumer feedback and a lot of growth in a segment that I feel is waiting to be explored.
So if we had to sum it up, if you had to tell people, and I'm asking because, given your personal story with vegetarianism and, flexitarianism, and, also, trying out some of this with your own family. You've also studied nutrition at Cornell, and really, gone into detail in terms of the industry and some of the trends at the forefront of the industry right now. If you had to share with people the top 3 or 5 reasons why they should adapt, to Indian meats, just in bullet form, what would they be?
So I would definitely say it's something that is that helps the environment threefold, and everyone's aware of this today. Whether it's me, everyone's making it in their own small way. I mean, we may not do it drastically, but we're still trying. We still try to take up bottles. We're no more buying plastic bottles, or we're trying. So this helps it hugely, because to accommodate so many chickens, you need that much space. And if not, like people say, the West has beef, and that's the reason why it's bad. But so is chicken and mutton, and so is it. I mean, you see those poor chickens being put into that literal cubicle. Try it yourself, and let's figure out whether you can do it. You're just doing a good deed. Like when I gave up eating this, and I'm still dietary, I'm still trying every day with clothes, with everything. I'm trying my best. And if everyone tries that 1%, I just feel you're making the world better, and you're treating species as how it should be treated, equal. We talk about treating them with this and treating, but we really don't go out there and do those things. So I feel that is a big point. I feel number 2, you are not compromising. You are getting your meat, and whether you want to use it like Imagine Meats, or whether you want to recook it and put in spices and make it tasty, or make it less spicy, or use your own kind of, you have that option. It's just like what you're doing with meat, so why not? And 3, I would say, like, to a large extent, I would say that we need to do this. We need to do this for our kids. We need to do it for them. We need to teach them. My kids are vegan. My kids eat plant-based food. And every time they eat, because they think people are like, give them some ghee, they're so thin. And I'm like, they're fine. Like, they are thin. Like, they are thin, they're strong, they play. And I have seen it personally. I have seen energy threefold versus 1/4. And because I literally know nutrition, and I count nutrition. Everyone's whole deal is are they getting enough of protein? I literally count my children's protein every day, and I promise you it's way more than what they would by just eating one piece of chicken, and which they have also done. Like I'm coming from that space of having done this and that, and I just feel it's so much lighter on their systems, because their digestion is in place. They, the fact people don't even relate to constipation and acidity as issues, and that is largely because there's no fiber in non-veg. That's largely because there's no fiber in non-veg. So if you just sit down and realize, fine, if you're going to eat a big bowl of salad and you're non-veg, you're helping your system. But if you're not doing that, you're not really helping the system. So make the change for yourself first, versus it being for others.
So is the bigger shift you see non-vegetarians also adapting to this instead of meat, or vegetarians actually having this as another food option?
So I see non-vegetarians. I mean, because I'm a non-vegetarian, and we underline, like, I know I've been in that zone and saying that, no, I cannot eat my meat. I've said that, I've done that, and I hear it. But I also hear my friends who are hardcore non-vegetarians say, but if I eat, I only eat Imagine Meat sausages. Otherwise, I'm not. That's already for me. It took me that much time. I mean, I turned veg to vegetarian to I won't even say vegan, because I don't feel that just eating or maida and sugar is a good thing. I feel you're eating plant-based, it's better for you. So do see that change with non-vegetarians a lot, and I think that they would be one to take it as much as a vegetarian. For vegetarian, it's one more dish. It's new.
Yeah.
It's non-vegetarian. Well, you're eating a chicken tikka masala, so am I. It's just that I haven't killed an animal. So
Yeah. Yeah.
so so
Great.
I like that. Yeah.
Great. Genelia, thank you so much. It was wonderful chatting with you today, and also learned a lot about, what some of the latest ongoings are when it comes to food tech. So excited about the launch. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you so much.